What is going on, YouTube? How y'all doing today? It is Friday. It's about 10:45 in the morning. Been a little busy. Been up since like 7:30 getting stuff done. Only have like 7 sales. Don't have a whole lot going on. That's why I didn't have a video yesterday. It's this up and down, man. It's up and down. It's killing me. I just would like some consistency, man. Like, again, I mentioned before, 1% of my sale or 1% of what I have up typically sells, you know, give or take. And lately, it's not been the case. So, I don't know. eBay, man. Gotta love it. My name is Joe. Welcome, by the way. I'm just your average Joe, raw, unedited, hanging out in my garage. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Please follow or subscribe if you enjoy what you see, or check out any of the other videos. I pretty much do this daily. I've been reselling since 2000, so 24 years at this point, but I've been full-time for about the last 8 years. So I'm very familiar with eBay, been around the block a few times, certainly have a lot of things that I can share. If you guys have questions about anything specific, definitely drop it in the comments. If you're new to eBay, new to reselling, don't use eBay, but just want to know things that, I mean, whatever I can, you know, if you want to drop a comment, you know, ask some questions. I'm always willing to help. So actually look forward to it. I enjoy seeing the comments come through. Just sold something for 14 bucks. All right. So that's 7, 8 sales now. So we're going to go over sales as we do here. We just go over sales, kind of talk, ramble on unedited raw footage straight from my brain, out my mouth. Sometimes I probably say some dumb things, but I don't edit nothing. It's all here. I'm the average guy, your average Joe, selling out of his garage. I've got about 700 and almost 700 items up at this point. So yeah, I've been hammering out the past 2 weeks or so, just really hammering down, getting things up on eBay, clearing out the piles of stuff that I've already picked up through yard sales this season already. Have started to pile up a little bit. So I've been, I'm probably 80 to 90% through everything that I've picked up over the last few weeks, not including some of the old inventory that I've been sitting on as well. So not a ton left to put up. I actually came in the garage yesterday and was like, man, I probably only have like 20 or 30 more items, and I'm caught up, like, except for my video games, if y'all been with me a while. In fact, I'm gonna show them off real quick, because I had somebody comment and mention that I got, sounds like all the titles you rambled off. You got a lot of good stuff. You need to sell it. He said I sell all my high dollar stuff first, and all my small dollar stuff kind of hangs and in the death pile. And I'm like, well, my death pile right now, there's my clothes, by the way, if you haven't been with me before. And yeah, there's my clothes section. I got that rack and then 2 other racks we just walked by. But anyway, there's my video game section. It's all, you know, it's all like, I don't know, Donkey Kongs and Mario 2s and stuff like that. I call it my emergency pile. So this is the emergency pile. There's all sorts of good stuff in here. I mean, this pile, what you got? three killer instincts. There's more, but there's 3 killer instincts sitting there. Yoshi's Island, Donkey Kong Country 3, another one, 3 Street Fighters, more Street Fighters, Mortal Kombats, Ghost and Goblins, Zombies Ate My Neighbors, Zelda, Chrono Trigger. I mean, you don't know what's in this pile. There's all sorts of good stuff. There's some Donkey Kongs back there. You can see the yellow title, the yellow Banjo-Kazooie, Mortal Kombat, Mario Kart, Revenge, Mario. Anyway, as you can see, there's some fillers in there. Not many, but maybe a few fillers still in there, but not many. Mainly all the premier titles. So as you can see, it's this rack and then this rack and then that whole thing, if you can see there. So I wasn't BSing when I said I got like my emergency game pile. This is double stacked, double layers of 64 games. Oh, there's a gold. If you don't see it, there's a well, I'll put this here so I'll pull it out. It just goes back to show. Oh, there's the Zelda there. So I mean, just there's Pokemons. There's all sorts of stuff, man. It's tons of doubles and triples and quadruples of things. There's more down there. Zeldas. I don't know if you can see them all. So yeah. Anyway. And then I have another box of another. And again, this is the emergency game pile. I don't know what the emergency's for at this point, but. So so that's that. And then I got another big box upstairs that is double stacked in my bonus room, full of Switch games, all the Pokemon games like Blue, Yellow, Crystal, Emerald, Fire, all Yellow. Did I already say that? Yellow, all of them. So they're then a ton of 64, a ton of GameCube games, all your big hit titles. I said it yesterday, it doesn't matter, but all the bigger titles. And I got tons of Switch games. So all the Switches I've picked up over the last year, I haven't really sold any of the games. So like all the Marios, the Mario Karts, the Zeldas, the Pokemons, all those games that I got with all the Switch bundles were all basically gravy. They were all extra. They were like, I sell the Switch bundles for more than what I usually pick them up for. So all the games are just extra, and I just kind of hoarded them. So I'm sitting on like probably 50 plus 60-ish, maybe 70. More than that, actually. At least 60 or 70 Switch games, because I got a ton of loose ones too, not just in this thing. So anyway, that's the emergency pile. So I've got almost everything up except the video games, which is my emergency pile. That's like for a rainy day. I don't have anything else to source. I don't have anything else to put up that I may tackle, and I'm not selling anything that I may jump into selling, you know, the video games. But for now, I'm just kind of hoarding them as an emergency pile. But this is all I have left to put up. So I've got the 2 Oculuses, which I got a couple weeks ago, a bunch of cameras that I gotta test and get out, some comics that I got, Instapot over here, some plush, a Kevlar, Army Kevlar vest, and that's it. So after that, some Sony speakers right there and some backpacks. So I don't have a whole ton. I think there's 6 backpacks. And the DVD, all the Blu-rays, I'm gonna bundle the Blu-rays in specific genres, or they're like all the Star Wars, all the superhero, all the horror. They're all gonna go in their genre, and then I'm gonna sell them in bulk. You know, I don't know, 10 or 12 or 15, however many, 8, whatever, are in each bundle, and then the Oculuses. So you're talking, there's probably 20 or so items, 20 or so listings in this little pile here. There's not a ton, and outside of that, I don't have any other death pile hanging around. Everything else has been put up. All the yard sale stuff, all my backlog stuff. Actually, I take that back. There's actually a pile of Harley stuff that I put in. Let me stop shaking this. There's a pile of Harley shirts and riding jackets and pants and all weather, like rain gear and stuff like that I had in one of these bins I took out last night, because I'm almost done going through all my bins too, and I put those in the living room. My plan is to take pictures of, I think I got like maybe 15 of those, 20 of those in items, Harley stuff that I'm gonna take pictures of and have in my phone ready to go, so I can post stuff during idle time. So like this weekend, I'm going to the beach for a night, Saturday to Sunday, me and my wife. So during idle time, or, you know, laying in bed time or whatever, I've got those pictures ready to go, so I can post some things while I'm out and about. So that's my plan there. So that takes care of all the Harley stuff will be done. The only other thing that's in those bins is I got a bin full of jeans, like Carhartt jeans and things like that. There's like a bin full of them, probably 20, 30 pair. And then there's another bin full of military, like the all-weather, anyway, military camo, not uniforms, but like their shirts. I guess they're considered work shirts, maybe. I forget what they are, what they're called. But anyway, so I got a whole bin full of those that I got to get up. So those are going to be pretty easy. But I've just, all last yard sale season, all my bins over here, if you can see, all 6 of those bins there were loaded up with just clothes. I had 6 big bins full of clothes. Actually 8. 2 of them I took to my wife's store already. So I had 8 bins full of clothes that I picked up over last yard sale season. So that's what this pile is now, all up, ready to go on eBay. And there's another hanger on the other side of more clothes. And then I got like 3 bins over there full of clothes that just don't fit on hangers or fit on the racks. So I'm almost caught up. Like I said, I'm about 90-ish% caught up. I'm rambling, I haven't even shown sales yet, but yeah. So I'm like 90-ish% caught up. I don't like having death piles. I don't like having that stuff hanging over my head. It's almost inevitable sometimes to get a death pile going, especially if you source a lot, which I was sourcing probably before I needed to, because, you know, yard sale season's in full effect now. It has been for like a month, which is great where I'm at. I know I've heard some YouTubers are saying that it's just now getting warm enough when just now people are starting a yard sale. And I'm like, man, I love North Carolina, man. People had yard sales going in like February. But anyway, actually all winter, you'd have a handful, all through the winter, you'd still have, a handful of yard sales. But usually I don't do a ton of yard selling over the winter time. But anyway, so it's just nice I'm saying all that to say I'm almost through my death pile. I'm almost there. I don't have a ton left. I just today I'm tackling probably half of this pile, because tomorrow's yard sale day. Actually, today's yard sale day, but there wasn't really anything out and about today so far when I checked. It's already 11, so I'm not going to check again. But up until now, I had checked. There was nothing. There's a couple, but they were further away. I wasn't trying to drive too far today. So tomorrow it is supposed to rain. Part of me wants it to rain so I can catch up, even though I'm going to be going out of town tomorrow anyway. But I already told my wife I was going to source first thing in the morning, get home early, and then we can head to the beach. But it's supposed to rain tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. It may or may not happen, so we may head to the beach early. Myrtle Beach is where we're heading to. So actually Carolina Beach, but where the older folks hang out. So yeah, that's it. So I'm going to try to get through all this stuff, or not all of it, at least half of it today. And then if it rains tomorrow and I don't source tomorrow, that means I have all next week to get the rest of this stuff up and almost kind of like reset myself and be ready with nothing to be put up except my emergency game pile. We won't forget about those. But I'm not, those don't count. Those don't count. But as far as all my other inventory that's been sitting, I can get all that up and be ready to go, because my plan is this yard sale season is to anything I get, I want to get it up right away. I don't want to have 8 bins of clothes again like I did last year. The thought there was having stuff to put on eBay through the winter. Well, I was still sourcing through Marketplace through the winter, and so I didn't really need to tap into any of this. And then come spring, I was like, or late winter, early spring, January timeframe, I was like, man, I got all this stuff still that I need to get up, or dead December. And actually, it was January before I had that epiphany. It was like, yard sale season right around the corner, and I still got 8 bins worth of stuff, clothes only really, from last yard sale season I need to get up. So again, I don't want to duplicate that again. It's all of this is kind of, what works for you, how to be more efficient. You identify those things, so you can make those tweaks and changes and do better job, just as you go, because it's a never ending evolution journey and strategy changes and tactics and things like that. It's never ending. You're always trying to, I watched a guy earlier today, I forget what his YouTube channel is, but he was just saying like his sales were dead. And so he went in like 2 hours and went in and started decreasing every single one of his listings manually. And it took him like 2.5 hours to do that. And then he started getting sales. I was like, you know what? I've done that before. And that actually has helped, but it takes so flipping long. Especially if you have a lot of listings. He's got like tens of thousands of listings, or thousands of listings, maybe not tens of thousands, but he does more media and things like that. So anyway, I can certainly go through like 100 or 200 of my items, take an hour and a half, and just start decreasing manually, my stuff, and that will certainly help. But anyway, that's where I'm at. That's what I'm doing. Let's share some sales, because at this point I just feel like I'm kind of just rambling to you guys. So we're gonna move over here and get into our sales. So hopefully you don't have a death pile, and if you do have a death pile, then I would recommend trying to hammer it out, because it's no fun having a death pile. In all reality, it's money sitting there. Like, for example, this wasn't a death pile item, but this was a yard sale item I just picked up last week when I was at the beach last week. If y'all know, I went on that golf trip with my buddies and all that. If you've been watching, I don't golf, but I go picking. So, this was $1 at a yard sale. It was just sitting at the table for 3-4 days before I decided to finally put it up. And then boom, it sold like within 30 minutes of me putting it up for $60. It was like, so there's money sitting. And so you want to get the items up, get them on eBay. Obviously I'm a tenured seller, and, should be taking my own advice, because obviously with clothes, I hate clothes. And I think that's partly why I hoard the clothes, and that may be why I hoard the video games too. but I hoard the clothes. I know there's value there, but I hate clothes. I hate messing with clothes. They take more time to research. There's so much more little nuances with blemishes and stains and, you know, missing zippers and just little things like that I'm just like, I hate clothes. And really the research, because I usually come across some pretty good stuff, like that one jersey I sold for $150, that Puerto Rico jersey. You know, I got a good eye and intuition on things like that, so I know what, for the most part. I don't know name brands very well when it comes to clothes or anything. I mean, obviously your Versace's and things like that, but you don't ever come across that kind of stuff. But, you know, so I don't know name brands very well. I just kind of go off of what it looks like. And, you know, I mean, some name brands, but like obviously jerseys and things like that, or your Nikes, and you know, obviously that your staples, I know. But I'm not a clothes connoisseur, or I'm not a clothes, that's not my niche. Although, I mean, you would think it's kind of my niche, right? Because look at all them flipping clothes, man. All these clothes, all those and all those. And then I got 3 bins right here full of clothes, which actually I just put these up. These are, if you don't know, $500. I bought these for like 20 bucks from a guy. These are Patagonia Class 6 cold weather gear, military issue. I think it's military issue. I'm pretty sure it's military issue, but Patagonia military. It's the Class 6. Here, let me move this. But yeah, I hate clothes. That's what I was. You know, now I got sidetracked. You see how quick I get sidetracked? But it's the top and the bottom. That's why it'll fetch some. It should fetch at least like $400. But it's the Patagonia. Anyway, you probably can't see that, but Patagonia trouser level 6. I believe these are cold weather. But anyway, I had no idea. Obviously, I know military stuff I'll pick up, because like that, you get blown away a lot of times. I also have a Kevlar helmet that I picked up. I don't know if I showed this off, but I got a Kevlar helmet, legit military issue. One of my buddies, and I may have mentioned this when I was talking about the trip and picking and stuff like that. I think I mentioned that I picked this up, but I didn't show it off. But it's the legit, it's got the bracket, all the pads, legit military issue Kevlar helmet. So, and then obviously I got the Kevlar vest as well. This I got up on eBay yesterday. I put it up for $500. We'll see what happens. They sell for about $300 to $400, but you know, that one's got all the pads, got the chin strap, still in great condition. It's got the bracket on it, which a lot of them that were selling for $300 to $400 didn't have the bracket and all that kind of stuff, or were missing straps, or were missing pads. So we'll see. I think I picked it up for 40 bucks, I think it was. And that's the thing when you go to places outside of a military area, and I picked that up down in Myrtle Beach. There's no military. I mean, there's a small. I think there's a like a National Guard site down there, but I don't think there's an actual military base anywhere near Myrtle Beach. Correct me if I'm wrong. Y'all can let me know if you're watching this long. Let me know if you're military or reserve or anything. But yeah, I think they got the reserve / National Guard down there. But there's no actual. So what I'm getting at is there's not a ton of military pickers down there, and there's not a ton of military stuff down there like here. I mean, there is, but I mean, I'm in Fort Bragg area, Fort Liberty now, Fayetteville. There's military stuff is all over the place. No matter where you go, you're seeing military stuff. It's abundant here. So when you go out of town to a place that doesn't have military stuff, it's and I see it, it's like, you know, it's nice to know that kind of stuff, because when you go out of town and they have those things out of town, they usually don't get picked up, because there's not a ton of military resellers in those areas, because they don't probably come across that stuff very often. So there's not it's just like anything else. If there's like in a golfing area, you're gonna have more golf pickers, right? Because they're more, it's a, you know, predominantly golfing community and blah blah. Anyway, so those little nuances of things, you know, like I mentioned, I got, you know, I was in a retirement area when I was at Myrtle Beach, so there was like no video game stuff anywhere. Nobody was asking for video game stuff. It was like no to everybody, but I was able to pick up cameras, shift gears a little bit, because the older folks had cameras laying around, old digital cameras or camcorders, so you know that worked out well. But so you just gotta, you know, just it's knowing different categories certainly helps a lot when you're out and about, and being in different areas and picking different areas. It's funny. It's not funny, but it's cool to see the differences. Like when I went to Georgia, and why I mentioned golfing is because down in Georgia, when I picked down there, it was a heavy golfing area. And so like every house that I was picking in that specific area was all sorts of golf stuff. I mean, it was crazy how much, and I don't know not much about golf. So I'm sure Florida's lots of parts of Florida is like that too. Anyway, I am rambling, but we only have like 7 sales to go over. So, we're go ahead and hammer those out, and we'll let you guys go for the day. I don't think I have a lot of nuggets to drop today, other than put your stuff up as you get it. That's my goal for this year. And so far, I'm a little behind, but it's so far pretty much working. I do have some backlog stuff, obviously, that I mentioned I got to get to as well. But my goal is to, especially if it rains this Saturday, to have everything caught up for next Saturday, where I've got everything up on eBay except the games and I'm ready to go. And then from there, whether I pick clothes, it doesn't matter what I'm picking. I'm not going to hoard anything. I'm not going to, even all the new video games I get, unless it's like cartridge based, then I'll add to the piles. But like non-cartridge based games and non-headliner games, like your big titles, I'll probably go ahead, because I just put some of those up on eBay too. Some 64 games that were just like $10 and stuff. So I put those up instead of adding them to the pile. But if it was like Donkey Kong's, your $30, $40 titles, I'm going to end up adding to the pile still. But that's my goal, is to get everything up. So I recommend to do the same thing. That's my nugget for the day. Get all your stuff up on eBay as you get it. It'll be better for you. You'll keep the death pile to a minimum. You'll keep your clutter to a minimum. You'll keep your sales optimized, because all the new stuff you're getting, you're putting it up. So, it's just a better place to be. Coming from an experienced seller, which has fallen behind a lot in the past, and I've done very well in the past too. So it's been both. I've fallen behind, but I've been right on and caught up and been posting right away. That's the goal, though, is to get it up and posted right away. So this year is no different, and I don't want to do a hoard pile for winter. It didn't work for me. So that's if you're in an area, I would guess that it is super hard to source in the winter, even through Marketplace and other areas. Then I guess, hoarding some things for the winter and putting things away for the winter is a smart thing to do. Being here in North Carolina, the fact that yard sale season doesn't go away for long, and the fact that I can supplement yard sale season through Marketplace and other just connections and networks that I've made over time, and just some honey holes that that I'm familiar with in the area, there's no really any reason for me to hoard anything for the winter. So I would, again, I'm sure that, folks in New York and Michigan and North Dakota and, those cold places where like 4 or 5 months you can't do anything hardly, probably. I would understand that. Certainly a little different strategy there, that's for sure. I will also say around here, because I've been watching some folks with thrifting and things like that, man, our thrift stores and our Goodwills and things like that are terrible down here. That's why I don't touch them hardly ever. I mean, not to say there's not stuff. There is stuff there. But there are so many people going to those places that wait for the people to bring the stuff out. And it's unbelievable. So I might pop in from time to time, and I've gotten a few things through Goodwill, that have sold for decent money that I've gotten for cheap. A lot of times what I look for is those military trench coats, because they usually have them for like $10 and they sell for like 40 to 40-ish. So that's one of the main things I look for when I do go into the Goodwill, because I know they're there here in a military town. Those military trench coats they're all over their shelves, their racks, and they sell them for $10, $10.99, I think. And then I found some sports stuff that, sports clothes that were decent. So I know there's money to be made in Goodwills, even here, but our Goodwills are not very good. Like I've seen some other folks' Goodwills and thrift stores, and they're like, man, the inventory you got in some of them places are amazing. Because it ain't like that down here, at least where I'm at. Maybe Raleigh or Charlotte, but certainly not here in Fayetteville. So storage units, yard sales, estate sales. I don't do them too much anymore, but I do occasionally will go to estate sales still. That's wintertime. I kind of switch gears and do a little bit more estate sailing in the winter, just because it stinks to go early. If there's something you see that you really want, you got to get there really early. So in the winter, that stinks. But typically, I go usually like on day 2. I'm not like hardcore estate sailing. I used to be a little bit, and I used to go wait in lines, especially if there was something that I saw that I wanted. But their prices aren't usually very good. You got to find those items that they didn't price right, and that's how you really kind of do well at estate sales. Or it's an estate sale that's like a private estate sale where they're pricing everything to go, because the bigger estate sale companies, those, and that's mainly what we have around here, is estate sale companies that run it. I forget what the one is called, but they're looking for there's not much meat left on the stick afterwards. I'll just say that on most of the items. Now, again, they don't know everything. And so I've gotten like an ashtray. I got an old MCM ashtray one time that was like $5. I ended up selling it for like $60 or $70. You know, there's been some little scores like that. A Fenton vase that I picked up for $30 and that went for like $360. So I mean, again, there are those things that you can find still, even there, but I choose not to go that route very often. So I'm at 25 minutes, man, and I can't believe I even got to a sale yet. Jesus. All right, let's get to some sales, and let's get y'all on your about your day, because I need to get about my day. I've had a very productive day so far today. So after this, I'm going to pack and ship, and then I'm going to get me some Jersey Mikes. I got to make a deposit at the bank. I may run by one of my honey holes because he's open today, and be back in time to pick up my daughter at 1:30, because I got to pick her up at 1:30. So yeah, I try to squeeze all that in the next 2 hours. I think I can do it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's see what we got for sales. Oh, what we got here? Sold. All right. So let's go to my orders. Oh shoot, oh, I had 2 sales come through while I was rambling and talking and all that good stuff. Good deal. Alrighty, so we got a total of 7 sales for $205.59. So if y'all been with me before, you know that $100 is my absolute minimum. $200 is my goal per day. Anything over $200, I love it. And I do operate 2 businesses. This is part of the wheel, and the other part of the wheel is my helmet memorabilia business. I do football autograph football helmets. I always talk about it, but I never show them. So I'll kind of show you. This is one of my personal ones, but you know, so stuff like this is the kind of stuff that I do. I do this on Facebook Marketplace. So I'm sorry, not Facebook. I do this on Facebook Live in my group. So stuff like this. This is a Tom Brady. It's a custom helmet. Well, it's not a custom, but it's a special edition helmet that they came out with when they won the Super Bowl. So there you go, Tom Brady. So there's that. So stuff like this. I mean, you won't see much Tom Brady because he's so expensive, but pretty much everybody else you'll see. Pat Mahomes, Peyton Manning, all, you know, Jerry Rice. I mean, every name you can think of, we have access to. So anyway, so that's what I do. So that's the other place. So like last night I was live for like 2 hours. Sold like, I mean, we did 7 helmets last night. Oh, wait a minute. So we did 7 helmets last night. So anyway, so that's just another, you know, stay busy and hustle, man. That's what it's about, right? So, so anyway, so that's that. But anyway, 200 is my minimum, or 200 is my goal. Anything over that's great. So we did technically hit goal, but once I do the shipping, I'll be under goal. So hopefully I have a big weekend. We're sitting right around $1,100 for the week. $1,400, obviously 7 days, $200, $1,400 for the week. That's super transparent here. So that's where I want to be, or need to be, for me and my family and for our lifestyle and things that we do. Obviously, you know, that may not be for everybody, but for us it works, especially with my wife running our store. She operates our thrift store in a town about 20 minutes away, and then I do that the Facebook stuff at night as well. So it works for us. The reselling part, this is where we need to be, you know. So there's, you know, when I deposit $2,500 a week, it's like, wow, that 1 week. But when I deposit $800, it's like, man. But having multiple sources of income certainly helps. Yeah, so that's all I got. Let's go through some sales. We barely met goal. Hopefully I've been putting a lot of stuff up, man. So hopefully we start getting some traction. I haven't promoted or done any sort of sales promotion on any of the new items. Probably like the last 200 items I put up, I haven't touched any promotions or anything like that. So I'll let it marinate for a couple weeks before I go in and start pumping those things to try to see if I can get some of those things sold at premium. Because the way I do it, my strategy is I pretty much post things at premium. So if I see something sold for $79.99 and other ones sold for $60 and blah, blah, I always go the high comp. That's just how I do it. I start high because you can always come down. You can't go back up typically. So I always start high. And then from there, after a few weeks of things being up and marinating, don't get any love on it, then I typically come through with a sales promotion or not a sales promotion, but a whatever you call it, where you get more traffic. I don't know why I can't think of that right now, but where they give you more traffic. So anyway, I've lost it right now, but that's what I do typically. And then as things sit for longer, the older items, then I'll put in like a 30 or 40% promotion to drop prices on those sorts of things to try to help motivate those things to get out of here. So, you know, that's just how I roll. Or I'll go through and I'll start just dropping prices on things manually, start dropping prices on things. So it works for me. It's worked for me. Could I get more sales if I drop prices on things and had them at a competitive rate right off the bat? Yes. Because everything works, my wheels turning the way I need it to turn, I'm not motivated to start things low and be more competitive. I'm okay with things sitting for a while and selling for premium at first, and then if they don't, dropping prices later. I'm okay with that. To each his own. Some people want to start off right off the bat at a competitive price or just slightly under so they can get their stuff out of here. Well, again, to each his own. There is no right or wrong in the strategy. There is no rule book saying this is how it has to be done. So that's the beautiful thing about this. What works for me may not work for somebody else, but that's another nugget I'm throwing at you guys. I mean, this just is what it is. You know, my sales rate, my sell-through rate is typically around, I think right now it's probably sitting around 80%, but normally it's sitting around 100%, meaning if I put up 100 items up, within 90 days, I'm selling 100 items. And that's how you're, you know, it's based off your 90-day sales. And so I'm usually pretty close to between that 80 and 100% sell-through rate. Now, you know, are there things in my store that have been sitting for a long time? Absolutely. But there's also things I put in my store that sell the same day, or things I put up 8 months ago that sold today. Or it's all part of the wheel. And so it works for me. My strategy works for me. Again, it may not be the right or wrong. Again, there is no right or wrong. So that's just how it is. That's just where it is. So anybody that thinks or does different, that's great. I'm glad whatever you're doing works for you. Can I tweak things and could it be better? Probably, but all these years as I've done it the same way, everything is up for buy it now or make an offer. That's the other thing. Everything I have up is either buy it now or make an offer. I don't do any auctions. Very rarely do I do an auction style listing because I know auctions get way less than typically, unless it's a super rare item or some super sought after item. Typically auction style listings get less than your buy it now listings. I've got offers up because I'm more than willing to take probably 25 to 50% off items that I have in my store in some cases. I mean, if I have no sales promotion on something, I will probably take half of what I have it up for, unless it's video game related, or let me take that, unless it's video game system related, because those I command premium on those because I put in so much time to clean, test, to make sure those are all good, bundle them with things to make them more desirable. So I'll come down on those for sure, but not 50%. But anything else, like, you know, if that keyboard was sitting on eBay, I had it for $60, sitting on eBay for 2 months, and somebody sent me an offer for 30, 40 bucks, sold. It'd be all day long. I picked it up for $1, half of what I got it up for, or a little bit more, done. That's why when I do my sales promotions on the items that I do, I come down, I go dramatic. I go 30, 40% off typically on those items because I want to get them out of here. I've got really nothing in them. I've already made my money on probably the bat bundle of whatever I got when I got them. And either way, I'm still going to make money on it, even at 30 or 40% off. So again, this strategy works for me. It's not for everybody. So that's just a little insight on how I operate and do my stuff. Yeah, and you know, there's people out there that don't do the promotions, that start low. You know, I would say I was looking at my numbers the other day, and I don't normally look at my numbers because I make sure I try to be as simple with this as possible. You can get super deep and be super analytical with all this stuff. It really doesn't matter. Like, you can see my garage. I could be super organized and have a backdrop that was all fancy. I'm not that guy. Okay, I operate real life. I don't show off like to it's real, raw and unedited. Average Joe, man. I mean, that's why I've changed the channel to the Average Joe. I'm not that, fancy jazzy. I'm not putting names out there, but just, and it's great. I like watching some of those guys, people, but at the end of the day, that's not what you're going to get here. I'm more the realistic reseller, your everyday reseller. Social media is not my number one, right? And I have to pick to do social media, because that's what a lot of folks that do this now are doing. It's reversed. They're more worried about making money on this thing versus doing this stuff, right? It's just so they're more worried about the aesthetics, the editing, all that, because they're making a killing on you guys watching. And I get it. I'm not mad at it. I hope to someday monetize a little bit here on YouTube. I'm super transparent. Hopefully at some point, that's the whole point of this, is to build this up, learn, share. I enjoy doing it at this point. I like rambling because, I don't know, I'm just rambling. Some of y'all watch, but, I trained when I worked at AT&T for 10 years. I was a trainer there. I did training. I like sharing. I like, giving what's in here to other people and hope that they can take some and roll with it. And man, Joe gave me a good piece of this, or damn, I remember Joe. Oh yeah. So I that's what I really enjoy. So whether I can make money on here or not really doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, this is what supports me. It's not the other way around. It'll never be the other way around. Even if I get this channel to, I don't know, crazy amounts of subscribers and making tons of money on here where I don't have to resell anymore, I'll still resell because I enjoy reselling, and I'll probably never really change my format. I'm not going to be some, visual, like I'm not going to change up my whole garage to make it look fancy and to make it look better for you guys. And I'm just your average Joe. I'll always be that. That's who I am. And so, anyway, again, man, I'm 36 minutes in. I'm just rambling. Getting to know me a little bit though. But yeah, so that's how we do here. So, but I was looking at I got sidetracked. I was looking at my sales year to date, and which are pretty, looks pretty good. And then I was also looking at compared to last year, and then I was also looking at my average sale price. So like I'm upwards of like almost $60 per item sold, which is amazing. I've never been that high before, and that goes back to just sourcing better things, paying up a little bit more for better things. That's just, when I put 150 into a switch and can get back 400 out of it, obviously my average sales price is going to be higher, but I've also been putting out more money to get that stuff. So, but yeah, so there's that. All right, so let's start. First thing that sold was the keyboard. So keyboard, picked this up at the beach, yard sale for $1. The guy was like, oh, it's wired keyboard, I'll take $1 for it. I was like, sold all day. I had no idea it would go for 60 bucks, but I was like, sold. It should be at least a $20, $30 bill, right? Well, 60 bucks, and it sold within like 30 minutes. So if you ever see these ergonomic, Microsoft ergonomic, I mean, this is a learning for me too. It was intuition picking it up, figured it was something. Never sold one of these before, but I was like, I'm pretty sure this is at least $30 or so, give or take. 20, 30 bucks for $1, can't go wrong. And then boom, $60 later. So that's how it works sometimes, man. That's what makes it exciting for me, And then you say to yourself, well, man, I should have probably put it up for more because it sold so fast. All right. Next thing up was Guitar Hero. On the Xbox, if you don't know, this usually goes pretty well. The Guitar Hero, even on the PS3, I think goes for even more. But this one for $10 plus shipping, and these sell pretty well. The PS4 one I've sold, I think it goes for like 20 or 30 bucks on the one on the PlayStation. But anyways, $10 plus shipping on that. Street Fighter. Street Fighter sold for, I believe, also $10 plus shipping. Yes, this is Street Fighter EX3 disc only for PS2. So that sold for $10 plus shipping. Next thing that sold was Michael Jackson. I put this up. I wasn't sure if this was going to get any. Let's see. Where's it at? I'd love to get a rack to put all the discs on, because I don't have a ton, but I'm starting to get more. So this sold for Michael Jackson King of Pop, sold for $13 free shipping. So I think I picked it up for like 50 cents. So $13 plus, sold quick too. I just put that up not too long ago. So there's that. DVD player. So these sell pretty well. This was actually my daughter's, but I picked it up at a yard sale, and then she wanted it, so she's been using it for a while. But we actually got a new TV. So then our living room TV went into our bedroom. Our bedroom TV then went to our daughter's room, because it was all, everybody upgraded. The living room upgraded, then it went, anyway. So the TV she got has a Roku with it, so she was done with this. She was like, I don't ever use the Blu-ray, DVD, CDs anyway. I just use the Roku that's built into it, or Amazon or whatever is built into this one. But she said she used the Roku on the TV she got. So she didn't need this anymore. Sold for $44 plus shipping, or $45 plus shipping. So these always sell good. It's the Samsung Blu-ray with the streaming in it. I forget what it is, Netflix, but it's got like, I think it's Hulu. I forget it's got streaming stuff. It's got apps. It can do that. So, and with the remote as well, obviously with the remote as well. I actually bought the remote because she didn't have the remote with it. She never used it except to watch. I don't know. She used the DirecTV remote because we synced it with it. But I actually bought the remote for it for like $5 on eBay. So there's that. So if you're ever missing a remote with stuff, or you get something that's missing the remote, you know, a lot of times it'll get more if you have the remote. But then you say to yourself, oh, I don't have the remote, I'll just sell it for whatever. You can, 9 times out of 10, you can find the remotes on eBay for super cheap, and then add it to your item and sell it for the premium that it should get, right? So just another little nugget there. I mean, obviously you got to wait a week or 4 days, whatever, 5 days for it to deliver. But I mean, yeah, it works. Hi, please don't avoid invoice. I'm telling you, I get a lot of drop shippers, man. You know, don't provide an invoice and this and that. The next two things that sold, the last two things, I'll get you guys out of here. If I can find it. Let's see. Oh, let's get Killzone first. Killzone on PlayStation. So Killzone sold for $13 plus shipping. Killzone on PS3, $13 plus shipping. And then Modern Warfare, Call of Duty World at War. Call of Duty World at War on the Game Boy. Make sure that ain't the mail lady. Okay. Got it. All right, so the last thing that sold was, I gotta get rid of all them games, man. Let's go. This little guy right here, Call of Duty on DS. So that little guy sold 14 free shipping on that one. So that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to packing, get this stuff packed up. The hardest thing's gonna be that keyboard, but luckily I got a box that I can get that thing in. 44 minutes, man. 30 of it was rambling. I'm sorry, guys. But that's all I got. I appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Hopefully you got a little something out of this. It's always a pleasure. I always appreciate y'all hanging. If y'all have anything, drop it in the comments. Let me know what you think about anything. Make sure you subscribe. And I think that's all I got, man. Enjoy your Friday. Unless I get some scores, which I've been thinking about. I think I mentioned this before. I think what I'm gonna start doing is when I get my items, like whenever I score something that's pretty good, I'm gonna do a short, like on a Saturday, because it's quick, it's easy, it's quick. I can post it quick, it's done, and then we can talk about it on Monday. But at least I can refer back to the short. Man, y'all see the short that I put up? Got this, or I got that. So that'll be kind of like where I post. I think what I'm gonna start doing, just streamline a little bit how I'm doing this. You know, Monday through Friday, unless I don't have many sales, then Monday through Friday, you know, just basically this format, and then Saturday, maybe Fridays sometimes, but Saturdays do some shorts, maybe 2 or 3 shorts on Saturday, just showing the things that I got. You know, like jump back in my truck and be like, look what I got, guys. Oh my gosh, check this out. That kind of stuff. So I think that's going to be the format I'm going to kind of, because it's easy. It goes back to things have to be easy for me. That's something I've identified. I'm 43 years old, and I don't know about y'all, but you know, if things are easy, you tend to do them more. If things are convenient, you tend to do it more and be more consistent. I.e., I got the stand for video, right? So the stand works perfect. It makes it easy. I can just put my phone on here, hit record, I'm done. No editing makes it easy, because when I was having to edit footage and get backlogged on all this footage and all this editing, you just don't do it. It's not easy. It's too much friction. I got enough in my life going on, and when I don't have things going on, a lot of times I just want to chill, right? I think that's probably the same with all of us. So I have to find ways to incorporate things to make it easy. So like upstairs, I need to be walking. So what did I do? I bought me a walking pad. So when I'm upstairs working on my computer, I've got a standing desk where I can raise it and lower it. So typically what I do is when I check my payments for my other business, I then I get on my treadmill, because it's easy. I can check payments while I'm going about 3.3 miles an hour walking, which is a pretty good, pretty decent pace. And I do that until I'm done checking payments, which typically takes me about 30 to 40 minutes. So that works out perfect. It's easy. I incorporated it in something I'm already doing, so I can get my walk in every day. Again, the editing was too cumbersome. That's why I'm raw, unedited, and this is the real me all the time, because I'm shooting from the hip, and I know if I have to do something with this footage later, it ain't gonna get done. It's not easy for me. So what's easy is I have it on my phone. I can hit record. I can then go to the app in a little while and just hit upload and type some stuff in saying, hey guys, this is what we did, this eBay sales, whatever, and post it, and it's easy. And then when you guys reply, I can reply, and it's easy. Again, editing is hard, and I'm not good at it. I'm not very creative in that respect. I don't know how to do it very well, so it takes me that much longer. Some people love editing. They'll enjoy editing, and that's great. That's easy for them. I resell, and I make it look, I guess, kind of easy, but it's hard for other people. So you know, the stuff that's hard for people is different for everybody. You know what I mean? So I mean, it just is what it is. So I mean, somebody that knows how to edit really well, it's easy for them to edit and they enjoy it, and that's great. I mean, no, not for me. So you see how those things it's interchangeable, man. Everybody's going to be different as far as what's easy for them, what they enjoy doing, and things like that, which obviously makes things more easy for you if you enjoy doing it. I don't enjoy editing, so it just became hard and cumbersome. So this is easy, and I can do this, and sustainable, and I can do little snippet videos, a short when I'm in my car, and show the things that I got real quick in the back seat or the trunk, and be like, and then post that and be on my way, be on my day, you know, or you keep my day going. And it's easy. I don't have to worry about it later, to edit it later, change it later, fix it later, post it later. None of that. So anyway, I'm rambling again. As you can see, I've done a lot of that today. Enjoy the rest of your day. Make sure you subscribe. We will see you on the next one, probably tomorrow, but for sure on Monday. Bye, guys. Hopefully your sales are doing well as well. Better than mine, because mine are eh.